Welcome back to Esoteric Ohm. I am Jod, and yeah, it's good to be back. It is October 21st, 2025. I cannot believe that it's the holiday seasons again. Time has just been flying by, but I hope you have been doing well. And if you have watched my previous videos, you'll see that I am in a slightly different spot. I am in the living room of my house. And funny story, so we had our water heater on the second floor, and yeah, there was a little bit of a leak. So it leaked into the ceiling, and so my other room was a little bit of disarray, but all good, all good. Sometimes in life that stuff happens. I don't attribute it to magic or magic gone wrong. It's just normal life, and stuff happens, stuff breaks. So, but anyway, it has been about 3 months since I've been on here, and it feels good to do this again. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on Financial Transformation Magick by Damon Brand. Excellent book, long-term working, about a year or so. And when we last left off, I was on Ritual 7, and I now just started Ritual 11. So if you're new, you haven't seen my previous videos, these rituals will basically give you a lesson on some monetary theory, some practices, saving, investing, clearing debt, the right mindset for attracting long-term wealth, creating long-term wealth. And then there's also a sigil and a word of power with these are angels, and then a word of power that you focus on the sigil for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, chant it. And I have been doing it with my wife, so we've been doing it consistently, although I do have to say the last few months have been pretty hectic as far as personal stuff. And it's just, I've continued to do it, but taking a few more days in between the rituals than I'd like. But that's bound to happen. And long-term workings, it's one of those things. If you're going to do a long working, you can expect there to be fluctuations in your energy level and your focus and just your day-to-day life. For me, it's just been kind of a lot of stuff going on, so I haven't really hopped on here to make a video, but I have continued to do the ritual. They make it easy, they make it short, and it's a goal of mine, earning long-term wealth, creating an abundant life for myself and my family and my loved ones is something I'm really passionate about. And I think that if you are going to start on this journey, you can use all the help you can get. So why not try Magick? Again, this is a book on wealth. They have a couple others that are geared towards short-term wealth. I've done Wealth Magick, which took me about 6.5, 7 months. And then I've also done, there's a couple of other ones, like the Magical Cash book is for short-term, kind of small gains. But yeah, so really just kind of wanted to hop on here, give you an update. I am still doing the ritual. I don't attribute the disruption to anything magical. It's just kind of day-to-day life. Although, interestingly enough, when something like that happens, it has effects on other areas of your life. And really for me, I've just kind of been focusing on the 3D. It's been a lot of day-to-day stuff that's popped up. So I've been kind of dialed into just, getting my physical environment right, working on my health, just working on very practical 3D stuff. But yeah, some people, when they go through something like this and they're doing a ritual, they can attribute it to magic or some sort of negative effect. I don't think that way. Although I'm sure there are cases when you're doing something baneful magic or dark magic or something like that, where that is more inclined to happen. In my opinion, in my experience, this has been very safe, very smooth. But who's to say, when we're aiming for something in life, sometimes, like for example, if you want to be stronger, the ritual or the universe is going to give you opportunities to increase your strength. Or improve some aspect of your life. A lot of times when we ask for something, especially big, with money. It's a pretty big ask to have an abundant lifestyle, an abundant life. And money is one of those things that everyone is really after, and everyone is kind of focused on getting more of it. And it kind of is running our society in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of systems and structures that are set up kind of behind the scenes that you have to deal with. A lot of us have a lot of either resentment towards people who have money, or guilt or shame for having it. And then also, so when you ask for something and you get it, you have to now manage it, and you have to keep it, and you have to make it grow. So for me personally, I do still have a regular 9-to-5 career. My wife is in the process of switching careers, and we've seen some really good stuff come through. Really, this ritual made me think about what my strategy is. There's a lot of different strategies for creating wealth. You can do the real estate, you can do the traditional investment, you can start a business. There's a lot of different ways and paths and avenues that you can use as a vehicle to create wealth. So for me and my wife, we have kind of worked on really recently kind of the business aspect. What is a good business to start? How can we make our money grow? We do invest in crypto and have some other small investments, but yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. So, with anything that you're trying to master, it takes a ton of research and takes a ton of trial and error sometimes. So don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen for you all at once, if it takes a little bit longer than expected, or if it appears in ways that you didn't expect. And yeah, this ritual 11 is really talking about saving, and how if you save money today, down the road, it can turn into hundreds or thousands of dollars. And a lot of us is kind of talking about balancing the mindset of, well, hey, I only live once. The only moment is now. I might as well spend it and enjoy myself on stuff that brings me pleasure in the short term. And Damon Brand was talking about when he was a younger author, that was kind of the mindset that he had, was, hey, I'll be rich one day, I'll figure it out, I'm just gonna enjoy myself, not really plan for the future, and not really set things up for success. And then he was talking about a friend that he had who essentially was the complete opposite perspective, and planned his pension, his 401k, was very strict on what he's gonna save, what he's gonna spend, and hey, I'm gonna plan this whole thing out. And also sacrifice a lot in the present to make sure I get there. And his friend ended up not making it to see that reward, So it is this kind of mindset that you have to balance these two opposites of, okay, like I'm alive now, the future's not guaranteed to anybody, so I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna get the takeout, I'm gonna go buy the expensive thing that I don't really need. I'm not going to really plan for the future. I'll take it as it comes. But also the mindset of, well, I may be here for another, 30, 40, 50 years. And I want to make sure that when I get there, it'll be a now. And I want to make sure that now is good, just like now was yesterday's tomorrow. And, tomorrow will be now soon. So, and I found myself when I was younger not really focused on money per se or wealth per se. More so, I wanted to learn skills, I wanted to have experiences, I wanted to enjoy it while I was young. I'm 40 now, so I'm like in that middle ground. But also in my life, I've seen what happens when you get older and you haven't planned for this stuff. And I have a family member who's going through a situation where she did not plan adequately for her future, and now she's getting to a point where she's almost 70, and options are much more limited, and it's a much more stressful situation because the right decisions weren't made and the money wasn't managed properly. So as I turned 40 and I'm looking down the road at getting older, I want to make sure that things are set up in a way that I can enjoy those times. So really for me, it's a process of looking at what am I willing to sacrifice now? What can I set up that's going to earn interest, that's going to multiply my wealth down the road? And you do have to take some risks. You do have to, there's a risk reward ratio that you want to pay attention to, because if you don't take risk and you just do the safe thing, you can do that, but you also could be missing out on a lot of opportunities. And I'm by no means a financial advisor, but really just been kind of working on balancing that mindset of, hey, I want to enjoy myself. I'm still young. I still like things, but also what can I start doing now that in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years is going to grow into something that will provide for me then, provide for my family, and in today's economy, at least here in the States, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of instability. Prices are still relatively high for everything. Obviously, inflation is still going through the roof, even though it seems to have dampened a little bit. Stock market's been up and down. Even crypto is very volatile. So yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty and risk in today's economy and the market, but it also creates a lot of opportunities. And there's a lot of advantages that we have with the technology is that anyone can really get on here, get their message out, have their voice heard. You can create something relatively inexpensive. You can create a digital product. You can create a YouTube channel that will eventually earn, money for you, views. You can do a lot of things with the technology that we have. You can create a movie practically on your iPhone these days. So you can create music. There's a lot of things that you can create. But you also, it means that a lot of people are doing it and the market's saturated. So, I think really the people who will succeed and today, and the time period that we're in are people who kind of find a way to understand what makes them special, what makes them unique, whatever that authentic thing is, and market it, brand it, really differentiate themselves from all the voices out there, focus on what they bring to the table that's different than everybody else. And everybody has something like this. It could be it could be baking cookies. It could be something simple as you can build decks better than anybody else. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be something that's like, oh, I'm the best singer, songwriter. You could be a good writer, or you could, there's a lot of different things. So I think for me, at least, I'm still kind of dialing in on what my uniqueness is. What's the thing that separates me from everybody else, helping it grow, and then also finding a way to share it with the world and create value and then get value back. So yeah, it's a learning experience. Again, it's been a while since I've been on here. It feels good. If you've commented or reached out, I apologize. It's been a lot going on. I did have a great conversation with a subscriber. Shout out to Steven. Hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for reaching out. And as my life starts to get a little bit calmer here in the days to come, hopefully I'll be able to kind of be more active on the channel, have a couple of exciting things that I have planned. But yeah, life gets life in sometimes. And for me, this is important to me. The magic is, I've continued to do it. I've continued to do my basic rituals. I haven't really done as much magic as I usually do, but I've continued what my fundamentals are. And I've continued to learn. I've continued to do the rituals that are my day-to-day practices, the protection rituals, the grounding rituals, the centering rituals. Those are kind of in my DNA at this point, and I continue to do them, whether I'm feeling sick, whether I'm feeling sad, tired, whatever. I will continue to do those. And then now I get to I'm going to start to increase the volume and the amount of magic that I'm doing, because I'm handling a lot of this stuff on the physical plane, and now that that's under control a little bit better, I'm going to start sending up new rockets of desire and start setting my sights on some of these bigger problems that I haven't been able to solve. But yeah, money's important. Financial intelligence, financial acumen is important. And when you're doing a long-term ritual like this, you also want to make sure you're doing the other stuff that goes with it. You know, expecting angels or the universe or God to just drop a bunch of wealth on me is good, but if I don't have the skill set, I don't have the mindset and the tools and habits set up, then I will not do with it what I should or what I need to keep it or grow. And yeah, it's a balancing act, you know, paying off debt, saving, investing, spending on your day-to-day life, investing in yourself and educating yourself. So yeah, all these things are important. But again, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for my subscribers. Thank you for you know, all your comments, your likes. Thanks for hanging in there with me. But yeah, life gets hectic sometimes. This is part of my spiritual practice. I do think that you can be a spiritual person and a wealthy person at the same time, and dare I say, it's important to be both. But I hope you have been doing well. I hope life has been good for you, and if it's not, if you're going through some challenges and you're going through some difficulties, I hope you get through it. You have everything that you need. All these experiences and these challenges are a gift in disguise, and if you can find the lesson, you can find the gold and the gems hidden inside the experience. I do think that life itself is a communication between God and yourself, and everything in your life is a conversation between you and divinity. It's just a matter of trying to understand what's being said and communicating your side of the experience properly. But yeah, much love. I hope you are doing well, and I look forward to talking more soon.